Welcome, learners, to another deep dive. Today, we're embarking on a journey into what it truly takes to unlock profound success. And not just financially, right? But in every single corner of your life. We've taken a deep dive into Millionaire Success Habits by Dean Graziosi. It's a book absolutely packed with, well, counterintuitive insights on transforming seemingly small changes into truly massive, life-altering results.
That's right. Our mission for this deep dive is, to extract those vital nuggets of wisdom, connect the often unseen dots between them, and show you a clear, actionable path from where you are now to where you truly want to be. This isn't just about accumulating wealth. It's really about cultivating a mindset and a set of habits that empower you to live your absolute fullest life. You'll discover how seemingly minor shifts can create monumental changes, and why, more often than not, the biggest barriers aren't external circumstances, but deeply ingrained internal patterns.
And within these pages, we're going to uncover some incredible stories. Including the raw experiences of self-made billionaires like John Paul DeJoria.
Yeah, amazing stuff.
And powerful, often vulnerable, personal anecdotes from Dean Graziosi himself. We'll be looking at what truly differentiates successful people, and why it often has nothing whatsoever to do with luck or some innate, mysterious talent.
Exactly. It's about the habits.
Okay, let's unpack this and truly dive deep. 1, the foundation of success, mindset and vision. So, when we talk about success, our minds almost automatically jump to money, don't they? We picture, a bigger house, a fancier car.
Usual suspects.
Right. More zeros in the bank account. But what's truly refreshing about this deep dive is how it immediately broadens our understanding of success. It compels us to look far beyond just the financial aspect.
What's truly fascinating here is the unwavering emphasis on holistic well-being. The book explicitly states that the methods discussed extend far beyond financial success. They intentionally encompass crucial, often neglected, areas like family connections, friendships, effective parenting, fulfilling relationships.
All the important stuff.
Spiritual growth, vibrant health, and critically passion. It really urges us to ask ourselves, if we connect this to the bigger picture, how many people do you know who prioritize financial gain above all else, only to find other vital areas of their lives suffering profoundly?
It happens all the time.
Right. The source suggests that genuine happiness and true fulfillment don't stem from isolated monetary achievement, but from a balanced, integrated approach to life. It drives home the profound point that you deserve happiness and thriving in every aspect of your existence, not just one isolated pillar.
It's so easy to get caught in that trap, isn't it?
Yeah.
So often we get stuck focusing intensely on what we don't want. We hear ourselves say, I despise my current job, or I'm utterly tired of my spouse complaining about money, or I hate driving this old, unreliable car. People can often list these dislikes with astonishing ease.
Well, like a laundry list.
Exactly. Sometimes 15 or 16 things in a row without even a pause, simply because they're constantly ruminating on them. It's like firing up a high-performance Ferrari, pushing it to 170 kilometers, but having absolutely no idea if you're heading towards Florida, Texas, or Arizona.
No, just burning fuel.
They'll just run out of gas and end up nowhere, exhausted but unfulfilled.
And what Dean Graziosi truly underscores here is that this profound lack of clarity regarding a destination is arguably the biggest limiting factor for most people. The source argues with conviction that no matter how fast or how passionately you work, without a crystal clear vision of your intended destination, you simply won't get there. It's the fundamental difference between being frantically busy on a treadmill,
Going nowhere.
and actually moving forward on a defined path. The book points out that titans like Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg don't magically have 36 hours in a day to achieve what they do. Their unparalleled success is largely attributed to having an incredibly clear, unwavering vision. Focus. So the crucial question we have to ask ourselves is, how many of us know precisely what we're working towards, beyond just what we're desperately trying to escape? Without that sharp, compelling destination, all that speed and energy just lead to more distraction, burnout, and ultimately overwhelm.
That brings us directly to a powerful, even transformative exercise that can really help forge that razor-sharp vision. The 7 levels deep of why exercise. Dean Graziosi reveals he learned this from the renowned marketing expert Joe Stump. Its purpose is to help you unearth the core, the heart-level reason for your deepest desires, pushing you far beyond any superficial logical answers.
Dean's own personal experience with this exercise is incredibly revealing and truly illustrates its power. Initially, when asked why he wanted to achieve success, His answers were perfectly logical and well-reasoned, helping students transform their lives, creating a lasting legacy for his family, setting a new, higher standard in the personal development industry, things like that, following figures like Tony Robbins or Wayne Dyer.
Good reasons, but maybe not the deepest ones.
Exactly. These were all good, rational reasons, the kind most people stop at. But as Joe Stump relentlessly kept asking why, 6 more times something truly profound shifted within Dean. His answers visibly moved from his head to his heart, tapping into a much deeper, more primal source of motivation.
And that's when he hit the raw emotional truth. His fifth why was this visceral, almost painful revelation. I don't want to go back to how I used to be.
Wow.
Yeah. This was tied to incredibly vivid, deeply etched memories of his past poverty. He recounted sleeping in a cold bathroom because the house had no heat during harsh New York winters.
Oh my God.
Driving an old beat-up car held together literally with ropes, and the constant crushing inability to provide meaningful help to his struggling parents. You can almost feel the emotion tied to those memories, can't you? That's a powerful engine.
Absolutely. That kind of pain can be a huge motivator. Then the questions continued, pushing him even further, beyond that escape from pain motivation. His ultimate why became, I want my children to have choices I never had. He yearned for them to pursue any legitimate path without a shred of financial worry, to have absolute freedom,
Total freedom.
to choose to be a teacher, an astronaut, a musician, or anything else they truly desired. This was a truly powerful, emotionally charged driver for him, a vision of liberation for the next generation. But even that, he found, wasn't the final, deepest level.
And the final true why that surged through him, igniting an immense, almost physical energy was, I want to have control.
Control.
He realized his entire life's journey, his relentless pursuit of success, had been about gaining that fundamental sense of control he so profoundly lacked growing up. It was a revelation that brought everything into sharp focus.
And this exercise isn't unique to Dean. Its profound impact is universal. The source shares another student's example, whose initial why was a straightforward, more money, financial freedom. Pretty common. But going deeper, through the relentless why questions, his motivation became about helping children in his neighborhood who lacked fathers due to incarceration or abandonment.
Okay, getting deeper.
Much deeper. And the true, raw, emotional why that finally emerged from his core was to make his deceased mother proud, to show her he had truly become a good person after overcoming a devastating addiction. The source describes him physically trembling and shedding tears as he shared this. It's a raw, undeniable testament to how deeply buried these true heart-level motivations can be.
So what does this all mean for us, for you listening? It means getting brutally honest with ourselves, pulling back all the layers and digging deep, far deeper than you might think you need to. This isn't something you can just do in your head. It requires active introspection.
And this raises a crucial question. Are you truly willing to look at your deepest motivations, even if they're uncomfortable, painful, or make you unexpectedly emotional? The profound insight here is that this raw emotional why is the absolute core, the unwavering engine that will sustain you through the darkest, most challenging days and amplify your sunny ones beyond measure. It's the intrinsic commitment that keeps you going when others inevitably give up.
So powerful.
It is. The book advises doing this exercise with a trusted person asking why 7 times, as that external push and accountability often leads to the most profound emotional breakthroughs and, crucially, sustained commitment because someone else is there to witness and support you past the initial logical answer.
Right. You need that push sometimes, too. Conquering internal barriers. Okay, moving beyond the clarity of your why, Dean Graziosi reveals that even with that powerful engine, most people hit an invisible wall. And it's not external circumstances usually.
Not usually, no.
It's something lurking within, subtly whispering doubts. We have to confront the hidden enemy within, the internal villain. It's that sneaky, sinister voice in your head you might not even realize is there, sometimes masquerading as your own rational thought.
Exactly.
It manifests as insidious self-doubt, whispers like, you can't do this, or you're crazy to think you deserve that. It's what makes you work harder, faster, more efficiently, but often feel like you're simply running in place, going nowhere.
And the crucial takeaway on the internal villain is that it masquerades as your own voice, making its self-sabotage feel like self-preservation. This internal villain is a form of deeply ingrained internal resistance, often rooted in past experiences, and it subtly, almost imperceptibly, prevents you from focusing on positive, transformative change. It creates a metaphorical glass ceiling that severely limits your potential for success and blocks your passions. The source powerfully compares it to a parasitic infection.
Ooh, strong image.
Yes, subtly draining your energy, undermining your confidence, and leaving you questioning why all your immense effort doesn't yield tangible progress. But the good news is, it absolutely can be identified and eliminated, but you first have to acknowledge its persistent, deceptive presence.
And what fuels this villain? Keeping it strong and whispering. Often it's external influences, particularly the relentless barrage of negativity from news and societal narratives. We're constantly bombarded.
That's precisely right. Constant, often unconscious, access to negative information through phone apps, social media feeds, traditional TV news. It feeds this internal villain insidiously. You hear questions, maybe even subliminally, like, why bother starting a company in such a bad economy? Or why try to find love when celebrity divorces are plastered everywhere?
Right, or how can I possibly get fit when obesity rates are soaring?
Exactly. Even a small, seemingly harmless, unconscious intake of this negativity slowly but surely erodes your confidence, keeping you trapped and stuck. The source proposes a radical but profoundly powerful solution, a 30-day news fast.
A full 30 days, no news at all.
No watching, no reading, and crucially, not even asking friends about the news. This forces you to confront a critical question. What hidden costs are you paying for staying informed by an overwhelmingly negative media landscape? The time, and more importantly, the mental energy saved from this fast can then be powerfully redirected towards self-discovery, nurturing loved ones, or engaging in personal development exercises, actively cultivating a robust, positive inner environment.
That's a challenge. Beyond the relentless news cycle, there's another insidious external influence that sabotages progress. Bad advice. It's like asking Jimi Hendrix how to sing opera or approaching LeBron James for tips on throwing a baseball. You simply wouldn't.
You wouldn't.
Yet with our biggest life decisions, we often fall into the trap of seeking relationship advice from constantly single friends or business guidance from those who've gone bankrupt. It's illogical, yet pervasive.
This is a truly critical point that the book emphasizes heavily. The source details how bad advice, even when well-intentioned and coming from people we love, can systematically steal your confidence, extinguish your joy, and severely limit your ability to reach new levels of success. Dean himself shares how his beloved parents, despite their deep love for him, collectively had 9 divorces between them.
9. Wow.
Right. He came to the powerful realization that he simply couldn't take marriage advice from them, just as you wouldn't consult Bernie Madoff on ethical investing.
Good point.
The crucial habit to develop, the book argues, is the disciplined practice of ignoring unqualified advice and only seeking it from true experts who have genuinely achieved what you aspire to. The source even mentions a resource, thebetterlife.com, which provides a tool for you to list bad advice you've received and visualize its real, tangible consequences, helping you break free from its grip. This isn't about disrespecting loved ones. It's about discerning whose wisdom is truly applicable to your unique journey.
To really grasp the true nature of this internal battle, the book employs 2 powerful, illuminating metaphors. First, the timeless two wolves parable, an ancient Navajo tale.
Yes, the parable vividly describes 2 wolves perpetually fighting within us. One negative, brimming with envy, jealousy, resentment, and complaint. The other positive, embodying joy, peace, love, hope, and kindness. And the one you consistently feed is the one that ultimately wins and dominates your inner landscape. This directly illustrates how our focus, whether on internal narratives or external inputs, fundamentally determines our inner state and our capacity for action.
Which wolf are you feeding?
Exactly. And the parasite analogy further clarifies this insidious nature of self-doubt. It likens it to a physical parasite, similar to the one a man contracted in Africa, which subtly drained his energy and health without his knowledge. He felt inexplicably old and weak, mistakenly assuming it was just age, until the treatable infection was finally discovered. This powerfully clarifies how negative thoughts, whether originating from within or relentlessly fed from external sources, physically and mentally diminish us, stealing our vitality. This particular chapter in the book aims to be the doctor and medicine to systematically identify and eliminate this pervasive self-doubt so you can reclaim your full confidence, boundless energy, and uninhibited potential.
Society often drills into us the idea that we need to diligently fix our weaknesses. Right, to spend all our energy shoring up our perceived shortcomings. But the source makes a truly compelling, almost counterintuitive argument that this approach can actually be paralyzing.
Paralyzing.
Instead, it urges us to radically shift our focus and amplify our inherent strengths.
This represents a profound paradigm-shifting perspective. Dean Graziosi himself provides an incredibly powerful and relatable example with his own dyslexia. As a child, a teacher cruelly told him he was mentally challenged simply because he struggled profoundly to read and spell basic words.
Awful.
Yeah. This deeply painful experience fueled a pervasive, self-limiting belief that he couldn't achieve anything significant related to reading or writing. However, what he later realized was that his dyslexia, far from being a weakness, actually gave him a unique advantage. He learned visually and possessed an uncanny ability to explain complex ideas with remarkable simplicity.
So it became a strength.
Exactly. He was initially advised to devote all his energy to fixing his language weaknesses, an effort he says almost neutered his natural ability to communicate powerfully and pursue his deepest dreams. But he came to the powerful realization that his message, his unique way of teaching, was simply too important to be held back by perceived imperfections. His first book, Totally Fulfilled, went on to become a New York Times bestseller despite his imperfect grammar, precisely because it conveyed powerful messages in an incredibly relatable and authentic way.
He describes the fierce mental battle thinking, who are you, Dean, to even dream of writing a book? But that unwavering conviction that his message was too important allowed him to push past that internal villain and embrace his unique communication style.
That really highlights the power of commitment over perceived flaws.
Yeah.
And this anecdote raises a critical question. How many opportunities, how many dreams, how many ventures have you unknowingly missed or abandoned due to self-doubt stemming from perceived limitations? The source emphasizes that strategically focusing on and leveraging your strengths is the most effective path to overcoming weaknesses, rather than getting bogged down trying to perfect areas that aren't your natural gifts or where your energy is disproportionately spent.
It makes sense. Focus where you get the most return.
Right. Another compelling example comes from Dr. Ned Hallowell, a leading expert on ADD. He reframes ADD not as a deficit, but powerfully describes it as like a Ferrari engine with bicycle brakes. Immense power and potential, but with difficulty slowing down or focusing.
Love that analogy.
It's great, isn't it? Dr. Hallowell helps individuals not to suppress the Ferrari engine, but to control the brakes, allowing them to harness their unique energy and go faster than anyone else. His profound approach is to find what the person wants to do, what truly ignites their Ferrari brain, rather than forcing them into activities they inherently dislike or struggle with. The book also shares the story of Tom, a highly successful real estate investor who nearly walked away from his thriving business because he was so intensely focused on his perceived chaos and disorganization.
He saw it as a fatal flaw.
Exactly. He genuinely believed he couldn't move forward until he perfected his organizational system, losing countless hours trying to force himself into a rigid structure. It wasn't until he had the profound realization that he could simply hire someone else to organize for him. Delegate.
Yeah.
That he was truly free to focus on his unique, high-value ability to identify and close real estate deals. The core lesson here is to concentrate your precious energy and effort on what you genuinely do well, the 90% where you create the most value, rather than fixating on the 10% you're not inherently good at. This strategic redirection builds authentic confidence, boosts motivation, and ultimately allows you to truly leverage your unique abilities for maximum impact.
All of these powerful insights lead us to one of the most profoundly transformative concepts in the entire book, the undeniable power of your story. Everyone carries a deeply personal story that shapes their entire life. It can be a mighty sail that propels you vigorously forward, or a heavy anchor that relentlessly holds you back.
Sail or anchor.
The internal villain, as we discussed, thrives on creating these stagnant, limiting stories that lead to inertia and inaction. The crucial point, the book insists, is that you, and only you, are the storyteller of your own life. You define your vision, and you possess the absolute power to leave those old, limiting stories behind.
The transformation of Gina, one of Dean's students, powerfully illustrates this principle. Her old story was that of a 60-year-old housewife whose kids were grown, leaving her feeling profoundly old, lonely, and utterly useless. She genuinely believed society valued only youth, and she saw herself as only qualified for low-wage, unfulfilling jobs like a piano teacher or a greeter. This self-limiting narrative led to deep depression and overwhelming feelings of unworthiness, making her feel she was not deserving of a better life.
That's a tough story to live with.
Incredibly tough. The source emphasizes that this story was a self-created illusion, a lie reinforced by years of repetition, even if it felt like her undeniable reality.
What's truly fascinating here, what makes Gina's story so impactful, is that she didn't win the lottery or inherit a vast fortune. The only things that are profoundly changed were her daily habits and fundamentally her internal story.
Right, nothing external had to change first.
She didn't need anything external to be different for her transformation to begin.
This raises an essential, penetrating question for us. What story are you telling yourself, perhaps unconsciously, that might be subtly yet powerfully holding you back? The source emphasizes with absolute clarity that changing your story has the power to fundamentally change your life, regardless of your background, your past, or your current situation. It dives into how negative stories often stem from childhood experiences, from well-meaning loved ones, or from pervasive negative outside influences like media, creating deeply ingrained limiting beliefs that, through repetition, literally become your reality.
And those beliefs feel so real.
They do. These limiting beliefs, the book stresses, systematically destroy confidence, fuel anger, breed self-doubt, negatively affect your health, career trajectory, and relationships, and ultimately prevent you from seeking and achieving what you truly deserve. To help you identify and dismantle your own negative story, the source recommends a powerful exercise, the Negative Story Worksheet, available on thebetterlife.com. With this, you write down your most limiting thoughts and then diligently trace their origins. Were they implanted by your parents, a critical teacher, or a doubting friend? This process helps to externalize these thoughts.
Get them out of your head.
Exactly, allowing you to recognize that they aren't your inherent beliefs, but rather ones adopted from others, often unknowingly. For example, Dean himself used to tell himself he couldn't achieve anything significant related to reading or writing because he struggled immensely in school and never went to college.
That old story again.
Right, but through careful research, he systematically found countless successful people who didn't finish college luminaries, like Bill Gates, Richard Branson, Michael Dell, Abraham Lincoln, and Walt Disney, proving his own limiting story to be completely false.
That's a powerful application of that idea. He actively sought evidence that disproved his own limiting belief, effectively rewriting his past.
Exactly. For the process of rewriting your story, the source offers clear, actionable steps. First, you actively seek and find positive evidence to support your new, empowering narrative. If your new story is, "My tough childhood made me incredibly strong," then you deliberately look at figures like Rosa Parks, Mother Teresa, or Helen Keller who transcended adversity.
Find role models.
Find role models, find proof. Then you meticulously write your new story, revise it until it truly resonates, email it to yourself, and most importantly, read it daily. The key to internalizing it deeply into your subconscious is to read it aloud before bed and first thing in the morning for a sustained 30-day period.
Repetition is key.
Absolutely. And critically, the book advises sharing your new story only with someone who will genuinely value it, encourage you, and champion your growth, not someone who will mock your aspirations or reinforce your old limiting beliefs. This isn't just a mental exercise, it's about embedding a new, empowering truth into the very core of your being. 3. Awakening the inner hero. The pillars of confidence. Okay, so once you understand your deep why and begin to dismantle those internal villains, the next crucial step is awakening what Dean Graziosi calls your inner hero.
The inner hero, I like that.
Me too.
Yeah.
Many people, the book highlights, struggle with consistently implementing powerful strategies not due to a lack of skill or intelligence, but due to a pervasive lack of confidence. This inner hero is described as your highest potential, your limitless capability, and your true north, the absolute best version of you that is waiting, fully formed, to be unleashed. When you truly awaken this hero, you instinctively invite new opportunities and abundance into your life.
So how do we systematically build that kind of unshakable confidence? The source shares a powerful, actionable 4-step framework from Dean's mentor, the legendary entrepreneur Dan Sullivan. It's a concept that has proven successful for countless high achievers: courage, commitment, skill, and ultimately, confidence.
Right. The first step is courage. And this is not just about grand, heroic leaps. The true depth of this insight is recognizing that courage is a muscle, consistently built through micro-action.
Small steps.
Small, consistent steps. It's the starting point for all genuine confidence and transformative change. It's akin to bungee jumping for the very first time, or the profound step of having a child taking a calculated step into the profound unknown. You don't necessarily know what's on the other side of that door, but you choose to step through it anyway. Courage, the book insists, is an inherent quality residing within you. It can be powerfully awakened and fueled by clearly defining your why and your overarching vision. Once you have that compelling reason, that deeply felt purpose, your bravery is inherently ignited and amplified. The second step is commitment. This is about going all in, fully dedicating yourself, whether it's to a relationship, a new business venture, or a personal transformation.
No halfway measures.
No halfway measures. This commitment is powerfully driven by your children, your biggest dreams, or an undeniable deep-seated desire for fundamental change. It signifies a profound decision to be serious about your goals, to show up consistently, and to see them through to completion no matter what inevitable obstacles or challenges arise. It's the unwavering resolve that anchors your efforts. Third comes the cultivation of skill. This involves diligently learning and mastering the necessary abilities required to achieve your goals. Think back to when you first downloaded a complex new app or attempted to learn a new musical instrument. You likely felt insecure, clumsy, and thoroughly confused.
Oh yeah, totally lost.
Right. But once you systematically learned the instructions, watched a few tutorial videos, or even better, hired a dedicated teacher, those once daunting actions became natural, almost effortless. As you acquire and consistently practice the specific skills needed for your goals, your certainty grows exponentially, laying a solid foundation for confidence. And finally, confidence emerges as the natural, inevitable result of integrating the first 3 steps. It's powerfully likened to a rocket steadily being fueled for launch.
Ready for takeoff.
Exactly. When all 4 elements, courage, commitment, and skill, are thoughtfully integrated and consistently applied, your inner hero powerfully shines, and self-doubt, that insidious internal villain, systematically vanishes. Your true, most capable self is fully unleashed, prepared, and ready to tackle any challenge, seize any opportunity.
One truly powerful habit for systematically building and reinforcing that confidence is creating your "What's Great About Me" list. Dean learned this profoundly impactful exercise from his dear friend Sean Stevenson, who, despite facing severe physical challenges, a brittle bone disease, asked Dean to meticulously list what was great about himself.
Wow, Sean Stevenson, amazing guy.
Incredible. And this forced Dean to radically shift his focus from his problems and perceived weaknesses to his inherent strengths and unique qualities. It's not about just grand, monumental accomplishments. It's about diligently recognizing all the unique, even quirky things that authentically make you uniquely you.
Dean's own list, for example, was incredibly diverse and deeply personal. It included prioritizing his children above all else, the profound achievement of becoming a New York Times bestseller despite his lifelong struggles with reading and writing, his unexpected skill in operating heavy machinery, his practical auto mechanics abilities, his practice of making anonymous donations, his gift for simplifying complex info, his past achievement as a New England ski champion, maintaining lifelong friendships, his natural ability to resolve conflict, his confidence and comfort on camera, and the exhilarating experience of meeting his childhood idols.
So it can be big things and small things.
Absolutely. The powerful habit here is to consistently create your own list of proud achievements, unique skills, and admirable qualities. Regularly reviewing this list, perhaps even daily, profoundly helps to build unshakable confidence by systematically focusing your internal dialogue on what you've done well and what you possess, rather than dwelling on failures or perceived deficiencies. It's a deliberate shift in your subconscious from what's wrong with you to what's profoundly right.
Then there's the profound power of the anchor phrase. Tony Robbins taught Dean this life-altering technique some 15 years ago. During a period of unimaginable hardship, his company faced massive embezzlement, his beloved grandmother was dying, he lost his primary income almost overnight.
Just devastating circumstances.
Totally. Dean found himself questioning absolutely everything.
But at that truly crucial moment, when he felt himself spiraling, he made a conscious, determined decision to instantly shift his state. His anchor phrase, repeated with raw, desperate intensity, became, "If I can get through this, I can get through anything. If I can get through this, I can get through anything. If I can get through this, I can get through anything."
He just drilled it in.
Drilled it in. He wasn't just thinking it. He yelled it aloud, repeated it relentlessly while running, making it permeate every fiber of his subconscious mind. The impact was immediate, palpable, and profoundly transformative. It generated immense, surging energy, instantly shifted his emotional state, and literally repelled the torrent of negative thoughts that had been overwhelming him.
He vividly describes it as literally feeling his inner hero taking complete control, almost a physical sensation of shifting energy and mindset, like a switch being flipped internally.
And this isn't just a technique for extreme circumstances. You can create your own anchor phrase, something deeply meaningful and personally resonant to you, such as, "Nothing stops me, I've been through worse," or "I will not give up, my family is counting on me." The key, the book emphasizes, is to embed it deeply into your subconscious through repetition and emotion, so it's instantly ready to be deployed the moment you face internal resistance or external challenge.
The mental emergency button.
Exactly. This powerful practice fundamentally links your desired emotional state to action and success. Truly successful people, Dean argues, learn to achieve a state of confidence on demand, enabling them to overcome challenges and seize opportunities with unhesitating conviction. It's about building a robust mental fortress against the insidious whispers of self-doubt. 4. Strategic action and focus.
Okay, once your mindset is primed and your confidence is building, it's time for strategic, focused action. Setting big, audacious goals is absolutely crucial, but it's equally important to avoid getting overwhelmed by their sheer magnitude. Warren Buffett famously quipped, "The difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything."
The power of no.
This isn't about doing more, it's about doing the right things and relentlessly eliminating the rest.
The source provides a concrete, powerful framework for achieving this focus called the magic list exercise, a concept Dean Graziosi refined from his mentor, Dan Sullivan. This list helps you meticulously define what to stop doing, what to do more of, and what to strategically start doing.
Okay, break that down.
So what to stop doing includes activities that relentlessly drain your time or energy and provide no real contribution to your overarching goals. Think excessive, passive TV watching, engaging in draining negative relationships, or getting lost in endless social media scrolls.
The time sucks.
Exactly. Then, what to do more of focuses laser-like on activities that yield the highest returns on your time and effort. Maybe specific money-making tasks, intentional networking, or consistent high-leverage learning. And finally, what to start doing involves new, deliberate actions directly aligned with your goals, like creating a specific marketing plan or strategically hiring support. It's about being incredibly intentional and ruthless with your time and energy.
Ruthless.
Systematically replacing debilitating bad habits with highly productive ones. Successful people, the book underscores, possess a profound understanding of what truly brings the most profit or value, and they focus their daily actions with unwavering discipline there.
This concept of focused, high-leverage effort extends naturally to another powerful tool, deeply intertwined with the magic list, the circle of special ability, also a concept championed by Dan Sullivan.
Right. Visualize a set of concentric circles with your core unique abilities residing at the very center. Your special ability is where you consistently earn your highest value, whether that translates to $500 an hour, $1,000 an hour, or even $2,000 an hour, depending on your field. The profound idea here is to spend as much of your precious time as humanly possible operating within that innermost circle.
Where you make the biggest impact.
Precisely. Dean shares a compelling example from his early real estate days. He was converting an apartment building and instinctively hired someone for $50 to mow the lawn. His father, a wise man raised during the Great Depression, initially criticized him.
Do it yourself.
Right. Criticized him for paying someone to do a task he could easily do himself, a common mindset of frugality over leverage. But Dean instantly recognized that in that same half day, he could be fixing cars for a far higher profit margin, or even better, finding and negotiating new lucrative real estate deals, earning many, many times more than the $50 cost of the lawn care.
Opportunity cost.
Exactly. This concept powerfully emphasizes that strategically delegating tasks you're not inherently good at or don't genuinely enjoy frees up your most valuable resource, your time and unique energy, to focus relentlessly on what you truly excel at, thereby increasing both your income and, importantly, your job satisfaction. It's about systematically peeling back layers of tasks you shouldn't do, week by week, to uncover and fully engage with the core of what you should do, much like peeling an onion to find its sweet core.
And what happens when setbacks inevitably hit, as they always do? Most people, the book highlights, immediately focus on the gap between where they are and some unattainable, ideal, perfect vision.
The dreaded GAP.
Right. How often do we finally achieve a big goal, like a promotion or successfully launching a business? And instead of truly celebrating that immense victory, we immediately jump to the next perceived failing, like neglecting the kids or gaining a few pounds. It's a relentless cycle.
It is, and this is a truly crucial, yet often overlooked mindset shift, also championed by Dan Sullivan. The GP concept acknowledges that people are naturally wired to focus on the perceived gap between their current reality and their idealized perfection. Perhaps they have a great body but neglected their family, or a fantastic relationship but despised their job. This pervasive focus on the gap inevitably leads to debilitating self-criticism, a sense of never being enough, and feeling perpetually overwhelmed.
So what's the solution?
The brilliant solution, Dean reveals, is to radically shift your perspective and measure your progress from where you started. That is, the gain, rather than fixating on an imagined, often unattainable, perfect future, which is the gap.
Look back at how far you've come, not just how far you have to go.
Precisely. The source powerfully argues that consistently focusing on and celebrating what you have achieved, rather than obsessing over what's still missing, is absolutely vital for sustained motivation, genuine happiness, and long-term momentum. It means intentionally and regularly acknowledging your progress, no matter how small, and allowing yourself to feel proud of your consistent efforts, which in turn fuels further, more confident action. 5. Mastering attraction and persuasion.
Now let's talk about two skills that are often gravely misunderstood, sometimes even feared, but are absolutely essential, truly fundamental for turning any vision into a tangible reality: marketing and sales.
The M and S words.
Yeah. These aren't just dry business terms. Dean Graziosi makes it abundantly clear they are fundamental life skills applicable to every single interaction. The source defines marketing as how you attract what you want into your life and repel what you don't want, whether that's ideal customers, incredible opportunities, or nurturing relationships.
Attract and repel.
And sales is equally simply defined as getting someone to pay to do what you want them to do, which could mean buying your product, agreeing to your service, committing to a relationship, or even supporting your charitable cause.
This immediately leads us to a profound, almost uncomfortable question. Were historical figures like Martin Luther King Jr., Mother Teresa, Gandhi, Benjamin Franklin, or Thomas Jefferson, in their own unique ways, successful marketers and salespeople?
Interesting question. You don't usually think of them that way.
Right. But the source unequivocally states yes, arguing that their world-changing messages and movements would never have spread, would never have gained traction, without their profound ability to attract and persuade masses of people. Companies like Apple and Microsoft, Dean points out, thrive on these very skills daily, whether they're selling iPhones or cloud services. The chilling truth is, if you fear these skills, if you shy away from them, you will inevitably struggle to achieve your biggest goals.
You have to be able to communicate your value.
Absolutely. Conversely, if you truly believe in your product, your service, or most importantly, in yourself, the source suggests you have an almost moral responsibility to sell it, to advocate for it, or to strategically hire someone who can. These skills are ultimately about getting others to deeply believe in your vision and, crucially, to act on it.
And within the vast landscape of sales, Dean highlights one skill as the single most important for effective persuasion and attraction: making others feel profoundly understood.
Ah, the listening skill.
It sounds so simple, yet it's often utterly neglected.
This is where the magic truly happens. The book highlights that people will learn from you, listen to you intently, buy from you enthusiastically, and hire you only when they feel genuinely and deeply understood. Consider the classic example of a car salesman. A bad approach is instantly jumping to features, making assumptions about needs, and constantly interrupting. This car has XYZ features, it's the best. Very salesy. A truly skilled, effective approach is to first ask open-ended, probing questions, and then, crucially, listen with unwavering attention. What brings you here on this beautiful Sunday? How many are in your family? What are your ultimate priorities in a car? Is it safety, comfort, utility, or entertainment? And then, a powerful, intentional silence.
Let them talk.
Let them talk. The difference, Dean illustrates, is night and day. One approach is about relentlessly pushing a product. The other is about truly connecting with another human being and understanding their deepest desires and pain points, making the customer feel profoundly heard and valued. This deep understanding, this ability to truly listen, is also the foundation of a deceptively simple yet incredibly powerful technique Dean calls close the sale unfairly.
Ooh, sounds intriguing.
It is. For those hesitating on a big decision, whether it's a purchase, a commitment, or a life change, you ask them. Imagine it's 1 year from now and you've decided to act on this. We're here celebrating your success. What was this last year like for you? Describe it to me in detail. Then you simply listen.
So you get them to visualize the positive outcome.
Exactly. This ingenious technique prompts them to articulate their own desired future, literally selling themselves on the idea by aligning their deepest aspirations with your proposed solution. It's powerful because the motivation isn't forced. It comes from within them.
Another fascinating and often counterintuitive point about persuasion that the book champions is the profound power of transparency and authenticity. The source argues with conviction that transparency always, ultimately, wins the day.
Being real.
Yeah. Dean's own mentor actually told him that what Dean perceived as his weakness, his absolute honesty and trustworthiness, sometimes to a fault, was in fact his single greatest strength.
This insight fundamentally challenges the common assumption that you need to conceal your true self or present a carefully curated persona to be successful. Dean, despite his youth, his lack of experience, and famously no college degree, was trusted implicitly by investors precisely because of his genuine, transparent nature. He made a conscious decision to always be himself, even in the face of negative comments on his blog or social media.
Just own it.
Own it. This raw authenticity, the book insists, attracts the right people, those who resonate with your true self, and over time, people value that truthfulness and vulnerability above almost all else. This raises an important question. How many times have you dealt with people who seem to conceal their true selves, and what was the ultimate, often disappointing outcome of those interactions?
Usually not great. You feel like something's off.
Exactly. The source suggests that showing genuine care, allowing for vulnerability, and being utterly transparent builds stronger, more lasting connections, whether in business or personal relationships. A critical, often misunderstood distinction in the realms of marketing and sales, Dean emphasizes, is understanding that you must consistently sell what people want and then, and only then, provide what they truly need.
Want versus need.
Okay, if you make the mistake of only selling what they need, you will almost certainly fail to gain traction. Take weight loss as a classic example. People fundamentally need to lose weight for their long-term health, for longevity, for freedom from chronic illness.
The logical reasons.
The logical reasons. But what they often want is to look attractive, to fit into that bikini for summer, to impress their spouse, or to feel undeniably confident at the beach.
The emotional drivers.
Exactly. You must connect deeply with their emotional desire, their palpable want first. Once you effectively stir that powerful emotion, they will then be intrinsically motivated to take the often difficult actions they need to take, like adhering to a disciplined diet and consistent exercise routine. This, the book reveals, is about leveraging emotion to powerfully drive action and ensure long-term, sustained engagement.
And when it comes to delivering that compelling message, to really move people, nothing is more powerful than the art of storytelling. This is where it gets really interesting, where the advice becomes not just practical, but profoundly human.
Stories connect us?
They do. Stories add incredible power to messages, making them infinitely more memorable and impactful, far more so than just dry facts or logical arguments alone.
Dean's own experience with his young son, Brody, exemplifies this principle beautifully, and it's a story you won't forget. Brody was deeply upset about being bullied at school for being small and slight. Dean's initial, logical, fatherly advice, "Son, I was small too, and it ultimately made me strong," completely failed to connect with his son's emotional state.
Didn't land.
Didn't land at all. So Dean wisely changed his approach entirely. Instead of a lecture, he created a fantastical story about a werewolf boy named Toof, who, despite having only one tooth and being different, learned to fully own his unique identity and not let others' opinions affect his self-worth.
Toof the werewolf boys, love it.
Isn't that great? The core message embedded within the story was that true value and strength come from within, and external opinions simply do not control your happiness or your identity. This captivating narrative resonated deeply with his children, making them not just understand, but truly enthusiastic about the profound lesson.
They got the message through the story.
Completely. It exemplifies how powerful, relatable stories can embed complex, emotional messages and create lasting connections far more effectively than any amount of direct advice or logical reasoning. His kids weren't just listening, they were captivated by Toof and truly absorbed the underlying truth about self-acceptance.
Finally, there's the golden rule of the close, knowing precisely when to stop talking. This seems so simple, yet Dean emphasizes how many people talk themselves out of a sale or an agreement after the person has already committed.
Overselling, it happens all the time.
It's about learning to utter a sincere thank you, and then crucially, being absolutely silent, allowing the agreement to solidify.
Dean recounts watching his own father, a car salesman, make this exact mistake repeatedly. After a customer emphatically said, "I'll buy it," his dad would almost instinctively keep listing more features, more benefits, more reasons.
Creating doubt.
Exactly, invariably leading the customer to second-guess themselves and back out of the deal. Dean experienced this paradox himself with his daughter's seemingly innocuous sleepover request. He agreed, but then she, perhaps out of excitement or nervousness, kept explaining more reasons why she needed to go, including a test she hadn't studied for that would be impacted.
Oh no.
Prompting him, almost on reflex, to revoke permission. The critical lesson. In any negotiation or agreement, the first person to speak after a yes often loses. This powerful habit applies universally in sales, in personal relationships, even when securing a bank loan. Once you have the agreement, once the commitment is made, seal it with silence and genuine gratitude and let it stand firm. 6. Sustaining success. The power of connection and happiness habits.
So you've mastered the art of attraction, you've skillfully persuaded, and you've closed the deal with grace. But the journey, Dean emphasizes, absolutely does not end there.
Not even close.
Sustained long-term success, whether in business or in life, comes not just from the initial yes, but from diligently nurturing and building relationships after someone is committed.
This concept is truly vital for long-term flourishing, whether it's in a massive enterprise or the most intimate personal relationships. Dean learned this powerfully through his experience with Richard Branson's Virgin United charity. Dean helped raise millions for their incredible causes, and Branson's organization was, by all accounts, wonderful. However, they consistently failed to provide specific, tangible feedback on how the donated money was actually used.
Lack of follow-up.
Yeah. Despite his immense respect for Branson, Dean eventually stopped donating to them and purposefully switched to charities that consistently provided concrete updates and demonstrated accountability. In stark contrast, Dean highlights John Paul DeJoria, the co-founder of Paul Mitchell Systems and Patron Tequila, who is obsessed with understanding his employees after they join his company and his customers after they make a purchase. Obsessed. Tirelessly ensuring their satisfaction and, crucially, their return. DeJoria focuses relentlessly on reselling to existing happy customers rather than constantly chasing new ones, understanding the immense value of loyalty. Dean himself applies this diligently, providing weekly clips and resources to his course participants and book buyers, sending regular emails to show appreciation and genuine care. This proactive post-sale engagement builds profound loyalty, generates organic referrals, and secures repeat purchases because people feel genuinely cared for, not just like a one-time transaction.
It's about the long game.
It really is. It's about maintaining the same, if not greater, level of attentive care after commitment as you invested to initially gain it, much like reigniting love in a marriage by continuously showing care beyond the wedding day.
That's what the source brilliantly calls camping in their mind. It's a continuous, proactive process of staying connected with customers or loved ones. It's about consistently proving you care, not just passively assuming they know you do.
And the pervasive problem, the book points out, is that companies and individuals often get consumed by the relentless pursuit of growth and new acquisitions, tragically neglecting their most valuable asset: existing relationships. Strategies for effective, continuous engagement include sending thoughtful surveys, making time to meet directly, offering genuine incentives for feedback, and leveraging website or social media tracking to understand behavior. Crucially, the golden rule here is to never make assumptions about needs or desires without verifiable data.
Don't assume, ask.
Don't assume, ask. An actionable step, Dean suggests, a habit you can start today, is to write 5 handwritten thank you notes to influential people in your life each week, be they customers, teachers, your spouse, employees, or bosses, expressing specific, heartfelt gratitude.
That's a simple but powerful idea, handwritten notes.
It really is. This simple, tangible act creates a powerful reciprocal energy and leaves a lasting positive impact, showing you care far beyond the initial interaction, cementing deep bonds.
This concept of avoiding assumptions brings us to another massive problem, one that causes untold financial loss and immense personal stress: the inherent danger of assumptions. We constantly assume we know what others think or feel without ever asking.
It's huge. Dean shares a powerful and cautionary story from when he was promoting his book, Be a Real Estate Millionaire, on national television. He had hired an interviewer, and based on the interviewer's nonverbal cues, a certain body language, a subtle facial expression, Dean immediately assumed the interviewer was deeply skeptical, thinking Dean was crazy or foolish.
She read into it.
Totally read into it. This powerful, unfounded assumption created intense self-doubt within Dean, almost sabotaging the entire interview, leading him to consider canceling. Later, the interviewer humbly apologized, explaining he was battling a severe illness and incredibly nervous, and, in fact, genuinely admired Dean's work and vision.
It's incredible how potent this can be. Dean created an entire negative story in his head, a completely false reality based on an assumption, and it nearly sabotaged a huge pivotal opportunity for him.
It just goes to show how much power our internal narratives, often fueled by assumptions, have over our actions.
Yeah.
This powerfully illustrates how our unchecked assumptions can create negative realities, causing immense unnecessary stress, fueling self-doubt, and leading to tragically missed opportunities. It highlights the profound importance of clarifying rather than assuming, of asking open-ended questions rather than letting your mind fill in the blanks with negativity. Because what we perceive, what we assume to be true, often isn't the truth at all, and it can actively, deeply work against us, eroding our confidence and diverting our energy. It's a powerful reminder to seek clarity over supposition. Beyond external relationships and interactions, the book argues for a truly fundamental, almost revolutionary shift in our collective understanding of happiness. There's a pervasive societal misconception, an almost universally accepted belief that says, if I get X, whether that's more money, a better job, a dream house, or a specific weight loss target, then and only then will I finally be happy.
We've all thought it, haven't we? Once I land that promotion, I'll finally feel content. Or, once I lose those 10 pounds, then I'll truly be happy. It's an easy trap to fall into, a relentless chase for an external reward.
Exactly. But happiness derived solely from external achievements, Dean argues, is inherently fleeting. True, profound, and sustained happiness, the kind that anchors you, comes consistently from within. The source shares a poignant example of a couple who diligently saved their entire lives for their dream West Coast beach house, specifically to watch the sunsets over the ocean every evening.
Sounds idyllic.
Totally. But after living there for a mere 18 months, they found themselves complaining bitterly about the sun shining directly into their kitchen while they were trying to cook.
Oh, the irony.
Right. Their external achievement, their lifelong dream, didn't guarantee lasting happiness because their internal state, their mindset hadn't fundamentally changed. No amount of money, no level of external success, Dean insists, can make you truly fulfilled unless you cultivate a deep, abiding internal satisfaction. Happiness, the book profoundly asserts, leads to success. It is not merely the reward for achievement. It's a foundational state, a prerequisite, not a fleeting outcome.
So happiness first, then success follows.
That's the argument. To cultivate this resilient internal happiness, the source outlines 10 specific actionable habits. The first is finding what truly makes you happy. This requires deep, honest introspection. Think deeply about what genuinely brings you joy, peace, and unadulterated laughter, going beyond surface-level default answers. Dean, for example, shares his profound love for nature and his cherished memories of fishing with his grandfather. Recall those childhood feelings of pure, unburdened joy and seek to recreate them.
Get back to basics.
Get back to basics. The second habit is profoundly simple, yet incredibly powerful: living in the present moment. This means consciously letting go of past regrets and actively choosing not to fixate on an unwritten, anxiety-inducing future. Genuine gratitude and sustainable happiness naturally arise from truly appreciating and immersing yourself in the now, the only moment you truly possess. Third, don't overcomplicate life. Dean recounts successfully doing thousands of real estate deals without ever earning an MBA. His insight is that over-preparation, overthinking, and a relentless pursuit of perfection can paralyze you, leading to analysis paralysis and, ultimately, inaction. Simplify your process, trust your intuition, and take decisive action.
Done is better than perfect sometimes.
Often. The fourth habit is ignoring critics and strategically redefining negative feedback. Trent Shelton, a former NFL player turned highly influential motivational speaker, receives a constant barrage of negative comments online, but he consciously redefines them. Instead of internalizing, "I did something wrong," he compassionately thinks, "This person needs help."
He protects his mental space with intention, focusing his energy on the 10,000 positive comments, not getting dragged down by the few negative ones. It's a powerful act of self-preservation.
Exactly. This habit involves rigorously guarding your mental space by controlling who you follow on social media, what content you consume, and even who you answer the phone for, as negative interactions can feed your insidious internal villain. It encourages you to find your own anchor phrase to maintain peace of mind, similar to Trent's powerful mantra of "stay comfortable." It's a conscious choice about what information and energy you allow into your mind. The fifth habit is letting go of rigid expectations. Detach yourself from preset, often idealized outcomes. If things don't go exactly as planned, instead of succumbing to disappointment, ask yourself, could this change, this unexpected turn, actually be happening for me, not to me?
A redirection, maybe?
Precisely. The source gives the compelling example of Twitter's origin. It famously started as Audio, a podcasting service, but then iTunes launched its own dominant podcasting platform, forcing a pivot that led directly to Twitter's creation. Failure in this context isn't final, it's often a strategic redirection. This resilient mindset allows for incredible adaptability and the serendipitous discovery of success in unexpected places. The sixth habit is embracing failure as a profound learning tool. Winston Churchill famously said, "Success consists of going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm."
I love that quote.
It's great. Wayne Gretzky, the hockey legend, added, "You miss 100% of the shots you don't take." Dean even takes this principle home, asking his kids if they failed today, telling them if they haven't truly learned anything new.
Making failure okay, even necessary.
Necessary. Failure, the book asserts, simply means you're trying, you're pushing your boundaries. It's an absolutely necessary part of growth. When you accept failure as inherent to the process, you don't get upset when things don't go as planned. Instead, you objectively use it as invaluable data for your next attempt. Seventh, dedicate daily creative time. This means intentionally setting aside at least 30 minutes daily for pure, unadulterated creative thinking, completely free from distractions like emails, to-do lists, or social media. It's about creating space for new ideas, innovative solutions, and powerful visions to spontaneously surface.
Unplug and think.
Exactly. Eighth is the transformative power of gratitude, or practice conscious gratitude through small, deliberate actions, like observing others genuinely, e.g., construction workers laboring in the heat, and silently thanking them, acknowledging their effort. Also, leverage your phone for gratitude alarms set strategically throughout the day. For example, a 10 a.m. reminder to be optimistic, enthusiastic, and loving, a 3 p.m. prompt for you can do anything, and a 7 p.m. cue to you are lucky to have family, appreciate it. These serve as quick 30-second reset buttons, instantly shifting your state to profound appreciation.
Little nudges throughout the day.
Little nudges. Ninth, commit to continuous learning from experts. Dean himself invests a substantial sum, around $100,000 annually, purely in learning and self-development. But the crucial caveat is to learn only from those who have achieved what you want to achieve. Those who have walked the path, not just those who merely talk about it. Discernment in your teachers is key. And finally, 10th, helping others. This isn't just a noble altruistic act. The book powerfully argues that helping others profoundly helps you. Dean shares the deeply moving practice of driving around Phoenix with his kids, giving food and money to the homeless, teaching them compassion over judgment.
Powerful lesson for kids.
Very. Joel Osteen's inspiring story about buying a church with the last of his money, only to be given a far larger one, illustrates how the act of giving can miraculously create unexpected abundance. This habit also profoundly includes giving 110% effort in everything you do, even in jobs or tasks you dislike, as it meticulously builds invaluable habits of excellence and consistently provides opportunities, just as John Paul DeJoria's youthful dedication to sweeping floors unseen laid the foundational work ethic for his later billion-dollar empires. As an additional crucial point on strategic focus, the source highlights the undeniable importance of focusing your passionate energy on one thing at a time.
Not spreading yourself too thin.
Exactly. Josh Bizzoni, the successful founder of BioTrust Nutrition, learned this powerful lesson after his previous company failed. He adopted a rigorous, forced focus rule. He would concentrate all his efforts on one single thing until it could run itself independently, building its own momentum and systems. This forced focus rule, Dean explains, is absolutely crucial for ambitious entrepreneurs or anyone with multiple ventures who might otherwise spread themselves too thin and achieve little. It's about disciplined, singular attention to a goal until it not only thrives but also stabilizes, at which point you can strategically move on to the next venture, building success sequentially. 7. From thought to action, the 90-day sprint in practice.
Okay, all these profound insights, these powerful mindset shifts and habits are wonderful in theory, but how do we truly translate them into tangible real-world results?
The million-dollar question.
Right. The book introduces an incredibly powerful, actionable tool for this, the 90-day sprint. This concept directly bridges the often vast gap between thinking and doing, turning abstract intention to accelerated, focused action for concrete results.
The process of the 90-day sprint is deceptively straightforward, but demands unwavering dedication. First, you vividly visualize your life 90 days from now, having achieved specific, significant goals. Be incredibly precise, paint a detailed mental picture.
See it clearly.
See it clearly. Then you meticulously list the concrete, actionable steps you need to take within those 90 days. These are distinct steps towards the ultimate goal, not the final destination itself. Crucially, you dedicate a minimum of 50% of your daily productive time exclusively to these sprint activities, actively, even ruthlessly, cutting out busy but ultimately meaningless tasks that don't directly serve your 90-day objectives. It's about consciously getting off the exhausting treadmill of busyness and onto a purposeful, forward-moving path. Matt Larson's story, shared in the book, is a powerful, almost miraculous testament to the 90-day sprint's transformative effectiveness. Matt was a deeply depressed factory worker in his early 20s, seeing his future as bleak, a grim echo of his 70-year-old colleague earning a mere fraction of his pay. Felt totally trapped. Inspired by Dean's teachings, he made a radical decision. He would get into real estate despite almost everyone around him, friends, family, and even his girlfriend, who called him a dreamer and ultimately left him, telling him he was absolutely crazy.
He faced major resistance.
Major resistance. He applied the 90-day sprint with unwavering discipline. He vividly envisioned earning $70,000 a month from 5 wholesale real estate deals in just 90 days, seeing himself confident, effortlessly paying his bills, and finally being able to help his struggling parents retire.
That's an astonishing leap of faith and a truly huge mental shift from being a depressed factory worker to envisioning such financial freedom. He literally rewrote his entire future vision in those 90 days.
Exactly. And his actions during that sprint were meticulously deliberate and strategic. He immediately hired a personal assistant for all non-money-making tasks, ensuring he could focus on high-leverage activities. He woke up an hour early every day for exercise, actively stopped stress-drinking cocktails, rigorously avoided negative people and influences, and created a uniquely innovative marketing plan using unconventional channels like email, Facebook, and Craigslist.
Focused action.
Focused, relentless action. The results. He didn't just meet his goals, he dramatically exceeded them. He ended up hiring his assistant as his COO, completed over 3,000 real estate deals, and became a major investor, far surpassing his family's financial history and achieving a level of abundance he once couldn't even dream of.
Wow, that's incredible.
It really is. Matt's journey is a powerful, undeniable testament to the 90-day sprint. It provides a feasible, short-term roadmap that systematically builds momentum, confidence, and tangible results. Dean insists you possess incredible, often untapped potential. The critical question is whether you will choose to realize it.
It's so easy for many of us to look at individuals like Matt or other highly successful people and immediately think they must be inherently gifted or simply lucky. We tend to believe success stems from some innate, unearned talent.
The myth of overnight success.
Right, like tall people being destined for basketball or naturally smart people effortlessly excelling at math. But as you look closely at people like Tiger Woods or Peyton Manning, it becomes clear they aren't just gifted.
That's a crucial misconception. Their extraordinary success doesn't stem from innate talent alone, but from relentless, deliberate practice, often when it's excruciatingly hard and inconvenient. Tiger Woods was practicing golf from the age of 5. Peyton Manning was watching game film and meticulously practicing drills while other athletes were vacationing. What sets them apart is not just raw ability, but consistent, deliberate practice of the right habits, executed with unwavering commitment.
The grind behind the glory.
Exactly. This means your success, your personal breakthrough, also depends on consistent, deliberate practice of the right techniques, not merely innate ability or wishful thinking. It's the daily effort, the unwavering consistency, and the profound commitment to mastery that ultimately sets truly successful people apart. This leads us to another crucial and often uncomfortable point Dean Graziosi makes: the absolute importance of practicing the right techniques, even if it feels counterintuitive at first.
Practice doesn't make perfect if you're practicing wrong.
Precisely. Michael Jordan, the undisputed basketball legend, famously said, "You can practice 8 hours a day, but if your technique is wrong, you'll simply master useless skills." The profound takeaway is that you need to not just practice, but to diligently master the right fundamentals, the proven methods.
Dean provides a brilliant, incredibly relatable example with his daughter, Brianna's journey in softball. His 8-year-old daughter expressed a burning desire to be a pitcher, despite having never pitched before.
So Dean and his wife started practicing with her daily, diligently watching YouTube videos, meticulously building what they thought was the right technique. And it worked. She even pitched successfully in her very first game, a huge confidence booster.
Great start.
Yeah. But then her coach, a seasoned professional, identified what he called weird mechanics, subtle flaws in her form that would severely limit her long-term potential. This is where it gets really interesting.
Uh-oh.
Despite her initial success, they made the courageous decision to stop and completely change her technique, knowing it would make her worse before she got better.
Oh, wow. So she actually got worse first. That must have been tough.
Extremely tough. And that's exactly what happened. Her very next game was her absolute worst, and she was understandably heartbroken, shedding tears. This profound experience illustrates a powerful, often painful truth. Sometimes doing the right thing, adopting the correct long-term effective method, initially feels uncomfortable, awkward, or even makes you seemingly regress. The coach wisely explained that while her current technique worked for an 8-year-old in that moment, it would severely impede her progress and potential as a 12-year-old. But like Brianna, consistently practicing the scientifically correct method, even through initial discomfort and temporary setbacks, leads to exponentially greater long-term potential and mastery.
Trusting the process, even when it's hard.
Exactly. This raises a crucial question that Dean poses to us. What wrong techniques, what inefficient habits have you been practicing for years, perhaps even 10 years, that are subtly yet powerfully holding you back? It's about being willing to endure discomfort and temporarily regress for massive, exponential long-term growth and true breakthrough.
If the idea of a full 90-day sprint feels too daunting to start right now, too big a commitment, the book also offers a simpler yet profoundly actionable entry point. The 30-day challenge.
Yeah, a great way to dip your toe in.
This is designed to be effortlessly integrated into your daily life, requiring only a few minutes of conscious effort each day.
This 30-day challenge is designed to be both effortless to begin and profoundly impactful in its cumulative effect, capable of significantly transforming your life's trajectory in just 1 month. For example, day 5 might involve performing a random act of kindness, perhaps buying lunch for a stranger or spending an hour cleaning out your garage for someone. Day 20 could be designated as a day of courage, where you consciously choose to do something you've always thought about, dreamed of, but consistently hesitated on.
Small, manageable steps.
Small, manageable steps. It's a powerful, low-barrier invitation to shift your trajectory, one small, intentional turn of the wheel at a time, steadily moving you toward your desired destination. You're not necessarily looking for immediate, massive results, but rather building unstoppable momentum through small, consistent, and deliberate shifts that accumulate into a profound change in your life's direction. Outro.
Wow, what an incredible deep dive into millionaire success habits. We've unpacked so many powerful ideas today, from uncovering your deepest, most authentic why and strategically battling that insidious internal villain.
And getting rid of that parasite.
Exactly. To mastering the art of persuasion and embracing happiness as a foundational state, not just a fleeting reward. It's truly about understanding how shifting seemingly small habits can ignite monumental, life-changing transformations.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, what you now possess is not just a collection of insights, but a clear roadmap and a powerful toolkit derived directly from Dean Graziosi's work. The source emphasizes with unwavering conviction that you already possess incredible, often untapped potential within you. It's not about being gifted or lucky. It's fundamentally about consistent, deliberate action, the courage to step into the unknown, and the conscious choice to cultivate the right, high-leverage habits. The journey, the profound shift, truly starts with that single decisive step of commitment.
So what does this all mean for you, sitting there listening right now? It means no more waiting for permission or perfect conditions. The past is a rich lesson, yes, but it is absolutely not a life sentence.
Amen to that.
Don't let someone else seize and apply the business idea you've been nurturing or excel in something you're uniquely skilled at simply because you hesitated. Your time to act, to truly unlock your potential, is unequivocally now.
This raises a final, provocative question that Dean challenges us with. If you were to start just one of these powerful habits tomorrow, what small shift would move your life's wheel just a little bit, setting a completely new, more expansive course for your entire future?
Just one small shift.
Just one. The source makes it abundantly clear that while these habits are not a magic money machine, consistent, deliberate, and intentional application of these principles will inevitably bring you closer to the life of abundance, fulfillment, and happiness you truly desire. Don't wait 10 years for inspiration to strike. Your time to begin to create that future is now.